Well, it's that moment where we get to open it to fix it by way of Budeshi, brought to you courtesy of the PPDC. Well, this day, the Friday, the second day in March, we'll be looking at something regarding the Freedom of Information Bill or Act, so to speak, but not at the federal level like we're discussing this morning. Most time we concentrate at the central level, which is not so healthy, but just how much of the Freedom of Information Act goes round at the state level. And now it's common knowledge that the FOIA grants citizens access to any information or record in the custody of any public or private institution, utilizing public funds and performing public functions or providing public services as long as the request is not under an exemption. Now, on this note, our discussion this week or today will be focused on access to information in states. Is the Freedom of Information Act applicable in state governments? That's the big questions that we'll be answering this morning. And to discuss this with me is Samuel Ofia, Program Stroke Legal Officer at the PPDC. Good morning to you, Samuel.
Good morning, Swat.
You're welcome. And also Kachi is here. Kachi Chiku is the Program Officer at the PPDC. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Swat.
All right, as mentioned all the time, when it's time for Budeshi, we always love to tell you that you can join in on the conversation. And how do you do that? You do that via Twitter. And the Twitter handle of the PPDC is pp at ppmonitorng, using the hashtag open it to fix it. And it's quite important that we also let you in on the fact that the social media week is going on, and the PPDC is also a part and parcel of that, discussing improving public service delivery in rural communities using technology. And you can follow that using the hashtag SMWBudeshi to keep up with trends on the activities of the PPDC. Okay, so back to the main focus this morning: access to information in states. Is the Freedom of Information Act applicable in state government? Let me start with you, Samuel Officer. You are the legal officer here, so give us an insight into the FOIA and the applicability at the state level.
Well, as a democratic country, so access to information is key to our developments. So the issue of whether FOIA is applicable to states is subject to serious judicial debate, even amongst lawyers. So if you put two lawyers and ask them this question, they cannot come up with a uniform answer. So at the moment, we have to consider the provisions of the Constitution first, like Section 4, Subsection 2 of the National Constitution gives power to National Assembly to make laws as to peace and order and good government of this country, and in any other part thereof. So, but in lawmaking, even the same section as well also enshrines some powers on the state House of Assembly to make laws as to how to regulate the functions of their own states as well. So now the issue is the issue is that on what subjects can National Assembly make laws exclusively and not interfere with the activities of the states, and when can National Assembly and state Houses of Assembly make laws concurrently? So if you look at Part 1 of the second schedule of the 1999 Constitution as amended, it has 68 items, and those 68 items are items that the National Assembly can make laws excluding contributions from states. So for everything that is contained in that 68 items in Part 1 of the second schedule of 1999 Constitution as amended, it's only National Assembly that can make laws on that exclusively. Then on the other side, there are concurrent powers to make laws, both national and state Houses of Assembly. Fine. Part 2 of the same schedule listed out about 30 items in which both states Houses of Assembly and National Assembly can make laws concurrently. Now, the issue now is, if the National Assembly should make laws in those 30 items that it has concurrent jurisdiction powers to make laws in the state House of Assembly, and in return a state House of Assembly also make the same law, then by implication the acts of National Assembly overrides that of the state. So that's why we are adopting or covering the field comes to play. Now, the issue of FOIA Act, number one is to determine if access to public information is listed in the exclusive or concurrent list. So yeah, it's left for the courts to decide that, because we have so many court judgments on that issue. Before August last year, we have about 6 judgments, 3 for and 3 against. In Ibadan, Enugu and Benue states, the high courts in those states said that FOI Act is applicable to states, that the state need not domesticate it. But on the contrary, the Lagos State High Court, presided by Justice Okon Abba, in the case of Leader versus Minister of Health and Commissioner for Finance of Akwa Ibom State, Abia and Imo State, the court held that the Freedom of Information Act is not binding on states. So for it to be binding on states, the state has to domesticate those provisions. So now,
that's based on this particular judgment.
Based on this particular judgment. So now, it's now a legal battle between whether it's applicable to states or not.
And these courts, are they of concurrent jurisdiction or?
Yes, both Federal High Court and State High Court of states, they both have concurrent jurisdiction. They are both court of coordinate jurisdiction. So their decisions are not binding on each other. So at this juncture, it's only when we have a pronouncement or a ruling from Court of Appeal or possibly Supreme Court who has a final say, that's when we will know where or which side to follow at the moment. But at the stance now, we still await the decision of Court of Appeal or possibly the Supreme Court.
Of course, we'll break the ice on that. Well, I mean, looking at or listening to Sam talk about the legal battle and all the technicalities that has to do with whether the FOIA is strictly just at the federal level or applicable at the states, and also looking at what the courts have decided. I mean, how does that affect your work? In view of the fact that I know that you guys go to state levels, and most times it's even often very difficult. How does that make you feel? Listening to all of this and knowing fully well that we don't have a particular stand as it has to do with information at the state level.
Okay, for me personally, I think it's important. I think generally the government just they look beyond the applicability of the FOI Act in states. They should think towards the importance of freedom of information to the states. Of what benefit is this freedom of information to citizens? That's actually where I'm coming from. Because to me personally, I believe the FOI is actually of more importance to the states and the local government at the national level than to the federal, because because the citizens are actually closer to the states than they are to the federal, and they tend to have a bit more interaction with the state government and local government than they have at the federal level. So for me personally, I think this shouldn't actually be a problem. They should actually just focus on the fact that citizens actually need access to information to actually make up their minds and determine if actually the government in power is actually working for them.
I think you're talking from a moral point of view.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, he's coming from the legal aspect.
But the morality of it all now, I mean, do you see the willingness or the political will on the side of these governments? Because I know that most of the time when you see things like this happening, it helps to make corruption thrive, in the sense that you hide under a false impression of secrecy. This is government work, these are classified information, and so on and so forth, and then you don't give out information, especially for people like you who go out to work and you need information. Do you see any will on the side of the state governments to actually give life to at the various state levels?
From their conduct thus far, I don't see any type of willingness, because for them to challenge the effects of FOI on their states is a very big issue. I can understand the fact that politicians, they can be friends when it comes to let's share the money, let's do whatever that suits us. But when it comes to caging or managing their power, they can guide it jealously. In as much as National Assembly is there making laws with the all powers enshrined on them by Section 4 sub-2 on the National Constitution, and the whole items listed in the exclusive legislative list, yet that little power that was invested on the State House of Assembly, they are guiding it so jealously that they don't want federal at any time to interfere with the process. So for them to challenge the federal enactment is a very big issue, and it doesn't show any iota of willingness on their side to adopt or to make public information very accessible to the public. But I don't think that will help us as a country, because in Chapter 4 of the National Constitution is all about fundamental human rights, and you cannot say that your right is so fundamental if you don't have access to information. And moreover, for your right to be so fundamental, it hinges on access to information. So if we don't have access to information, we don't know what is going on in our state. So I think our state government should look beyond the law itself, or we should not keep waiting for the Supreme Court to jump into this matter, or possible amendments by the National Assembly to make sure they accommodate both sides of the divide. I think it's wise for them to do something on that to accommodate the provisions of the Law of Information Act.
Okay, Kachi, let's talk about the importance, what this FOIA would do if this is eventually, accepted and implemented at state level. Of what importance is the FOIA if we see that happen?
Oh, okay. So if we see that happening, I think it will actually be awesome, because you could actually determine for yourself if a government is working. These days, all we see is almost 2019, and all we see whenever you tune into your radio stations or your TV, you see adverts from governors telling you all their achievements, what they've done and all that. Ordinarily, this is not something they should be doing. We should already know this before the upcoming elections and all that. So, but if we have access to information, it will actually also help citizens solve problems that are peculiar to the environment. Sometimes, due to the shrouded secrecy of the government, it makes it difficult for citizens to participate. There are some problems that the governments are facing sometimes, and they do not have solutions to these problems, not because there are no solutions, but because the secrecy behind the whole problem. If they could actually open it and let the citizens be aware of what the problem is, you could actually have, surprisingly, you have citizens coming up with different alternative methods to actually solve problems that are peculiar to them. But if students don't have access to this information, we'll keep repeating the same thing, the same problems, over and over. So instances where you have, we're doing our monitoring exercises and doing our Prudential work, we tend to see that there's always this, like we came back, we reported, there's always this communication gap between the government and the people. This is also lack of information. From both sides. The government has intentions to do this particular thing. They do not keep the community or the citizens in the loop. Okay, expect so and so thing. They are not aware. So it makes it difficult for people to actually monitor the achievements of a particular government. So you don't know what is happening. So you just see, whatever you see, that's just how you take it. So if eventually we have this FOI Act accepted in all states, domesticated in all states, I think it will be really easy for governance. It will be easy to actually measure the capabilities of a particular government, and citizens will be able to make decisions for themselves.
You want to add to that?
I think I agree with you.
Okay, interesting. So we're looking at access to information in the states and asking the question whether the Freedom of Information Act is applicable in state government. And of course, some of you have given us a little background as to the legal stands in terms of the battle and how the courts have ruled as to whether it is applicable in states or not. But basically, I think it's really very important, especially like you said, Kachi, in the monitoring work we do, trying to find out exactly the appropriation and exactly what that money has gone into. But why do we see this? I think I've asked, and why do we see this kind of attitude, especially at the state level? Why is it that we're so focused on the center? Because like we always say here, I know Morning Crossbar, the power is so concentrated. At the federal level, everything, President Buhari, federal minister, blah, blah, blah. But there is so much more that goes down at the state level, And this morning, one of the headlines talks about devolution of powers, and then there's also the rejection of local government autonomy. But I think this are some of the steps that we need to start taking in order for people to feel the effect of governance, right? But why do we see some lackadaisical attitude of rejecting some of these things that would actually be of benefit to the people at the grassroots level, especially?
See, like such characters, I can classify them as being political because people over there are fighting for what is of interest to them, not the public.
Personal gain,
So
not
it's
the
about
people.
personal interest and everything.
Okay,
Like I
alright.
remember some days ago, Yemi Osinbajo was like, the issue between the executive and the station is all about personal interest. So it's all about politicians. It's normal with them. So they don't care what the citizens are going through, whether they have access to information or not. They don't want to know. They don't even want you to have access to those information. But because you keep asking them questions as to where and how they carry out their activities and others. I think it's more political and of self-interest than for public purpose.
Okay, and as usual, I know we normally encourage, besides the fact that the Public-Private Development Center is at the forefront alongside maybe other, CSOs and NGOs, citizens also need to get involved. So, how do citizens come in this discussion? What do we need to do at state levels, to ensure that we pressurize government? Aside the fact that you are at the forefront of it, how can citizens be involved in the whole process of seeing that this becomes a reality at the state level?
Okay, so I would say the Freedom of Information Act is still existing.
Yeah.
So you still not get since it's a bit difficult for us to have these informations proactively. So the only other alternative is still for you to make requests. I think citizens should be concerned about what is happening in their own environment. There is this nonchalant attitude with we as Nigerians. Okay, it's government money, so whatever, we can use the government properties, we can use the public services, the infrastructures. We don't even manage the few that we have, So I think we citizens on our own part is the little infrastructures that we have, we manage it well. And when we see something happening in your own locality and a new project coming up, so it's important to actually make more inquiries regarding a particular project, send out requests to relevant agencies and find out informations, and then you can carry out little advocacies in your state, to your state governments, requesting access to information, by telling them the importance of having access to these informations as it guides you to actually help measure, how we're affecting in the government.
Okay, you want to add to that, Samuel? How citizens can be fully involved in this? I know it's some citizens that are, that went to court, but what other ways do you think citizens can be actively involved to bring about the actualization of whether domesticating or, adopting that which we have already at the state level?
While we wait for a final decision by Supreme Court, hopefully, I think they should not relent. They should keep making use of the Freedom of Information Act, because that is the only Freedom of Information Act available now.
So what if you go and they tell you,
that you go to court, like other people have been going to court. If you are not satisfied with the ruling or judgment, you can appeal to the Court of Appeal, and it continues that way until we get the final pronouncement from the Supreme Court.
Okay, interesting. Access to information. Well, it's all about Budeshi. Open it to fix it. It's what the PPDC is at the forefront. And like I told you earlier on, you can join in this conversation on how we can promote transparency, accountability in the public risk and public spending, contracting process, and so on and so forth. And you can do so by joining in using the hashtag #OpenItToFixIt, and the Twitter handle of the PPDC is at @PPMonitorNG. At PPMonitorNG, you can join on this conversation, and I'm sure you would also lend your voice to it so that it goes that far. This morning we have been looking at the applicability of the Freedom of Information Act in state governments. Just how serious are we at the state level to see that this becomes a reality? Well, it's been an interesting discussion, and at this point in time, I would love to open up the lines and have you join in your own thoughts on the Freedom of Information Act and whether it's applicable in the states, just how much of that we can do together with the PPDC as citizens to ensure that it becomes a reality, so that information, of course, will not be hidden from anyone. Just like Samuel rightly said, you cannot be guaranteed your total right if information is kept away from you, because we all have a right to know. 094600951 and 08095974869. Also 0803-123-0293. If you want to add, you want to ask questions, you want to know anything at all, or any gray areas of our discussion that you want clarifications on, understand we need to call. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Hello? Okay, seems we have a network problem there or something. Please call us back so we can hear you, and when you do call, switch off your radio sets or just move away from it so we don't have that feedback that we normally get when you leave your radio sets on, or just switch off the volume so we can hear you very well. Hello, good morning. Hello. All right, still having that same feedback issue, but let's continue with this. I mean, how do people get in touch with you, at the PPDC? Like, what do they need to do?
Okay, so you can send us a mail at procurementmonitor.org, or you can visit our website www.procurementmonitor.org. Sorry.
All right, let's see who's here. Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You are flying solo today.
Yes, I am.
My name is Ahmed Alazma.
Welcome.
Well done, sir. Well, I know that they are facing a lot of challenges to have this, because freedom of information bill in state is not working fine. Because the governors, I don't know all states, I'm in some states, and because the governors have become like law. Their procurement processes is zero. The governors do what they like. They pocketed their state house assembly. They appoint the commissioners they wanted. They do everything. All those people cannot talk. Whatever the governor does, nobody challenges the governor in states. And that is why you see most states are becoming failures. And all of we Nigerians have shied away from looking at what state does. We only look at federal government. If we have an organization now that puts satellite on state, I wish I will be very happy, and I wish the state will respond to them. I know that they must have a lot of challenges, and they are going to see what is happening in state. Primary schools in state are as shambles as anything. Governors use money. Some of them, 3 months, they will not be in their state. They are in Abuja politicking. 3 months, they used to carry files from their state and meet them in Abuja. So I know that there is a lot of problems, but he is going to tell us the type of challenges they put on what they are doing. But if they can enforce this thing in state, and if it will work, I think there will be much improvement. All of us will be very happy. Thank you very much, Brad.
Thank you very much, Hassan, for that contribution. Any response to that?
Yeah, we have been taking our advocacy to states and also be sending requests to state as well. So, sometime last year I sent a request to Plateau State UVEP, and they responded. So, though they can't respond to the first request, so the subsequent one they provided the information. So
all the information?
All the information. So I did a request on behalf of a journalist, because when she tried first, second, and third, countless occasions they didn't provide her with the information. So she now called into our office. So now we use our office letterhead and everything. We made the request on her behalf, and we got the information.
Okay. So maybe when they see names like the Public-Private Development Center, they react, because they know that you can take them to court. They know that what is actually going down. And so, but seriously, don't stop. I mean, sometimes people get discouraged because they try the first time, they are not responded to, so they just say, "You see, I told you." So, the system is not working. We just give up. But we need to keep on pushing harder and harder, because unless we pressurize, unless we insist on what is our right, sometimes it do not just come to you on a platter of gold, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you were saying ways by which people can contact you. So maybe just give us that again.
All right. So you can send us an email at ppdc@procurementmonitor.org. You could also visit our website, that is www.procurementmonitor.org, or follow us on Twitter, ppmonitorng.
Monitor and we can use that. All right, we still have room for some calls, and if you also want to send messages, please do so on 080-999-30137. Send a message with your thoughts on the discussion this morning, because we're looking at access to information at the state level and asking questions whether the FOIA, talking about the Freedom of Information Act, is applicable at state level. And it's been an interesting discussion, and also stressing the importance of you and I having knowledge of this and what we can do to get involved in ensuring that this trickles down to the state level. Hello?
Hello, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Yeah, how was your night?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, and good morning to the guest.
Good
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Chima.
Okay, Chima, good morning. Welcome. Welcome, Chima. It's good to hear from you.
You're at edge now. You haven't spoken, right?
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Well, I want to add,
Yes, go on.
you know, like this Freedom of Information Bill we are talking about now
It's an act now.
is an act, right?
Yes.
Now, in state level, is not being, like this present administration, like everything now, even if you want to act and to know more, they try to frustrate you. You get me? Like, I was expecting this present administration, like, when the past administration put this, filed this information, Freedom of Information Bill, you get me?
Mm-hmm.
This present administration should come and perfect it, at least by now, let it be working perfectly. At every angle, Nigeria should be getting information and, know what is happening around, and, they can go in and out, ask questions, and nobody will hinder them with any information. You get me?
Yeah.
But it's not so. Rather, it's been, frustrated by the day. I don't know what we can do to, salvage this situation.
All right. Thank you, Chima.
Thank you.
Good to hear from you. Okay. Sometimes I get to hear people say government is not doing this, but I mean at the federal level, to some extent, it's there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I think the response from citizens, even making use of it, is very poor. Very, very
It
poor.
is exactly. Because I believe if they have citizens bombarding them with a whole lot of requests,
Exactly.
I think
They will sit up.
exactly. So when you have people who are waiting on the government to do things, if it's not a question of waiting for government, you yourself, you're a citizen, it is for your own good. So until you make those requests, I mean, the government will
Exactly. So
will
we
move
can't
the
just sit
move.
and say government is not encouraging. What are you as? Do you even know about it? How many times have you used the Freedom of Information Act at whether at the federal level? How many times have you used it? Invoked it? I saw a certain statistics and it was not
It wasn't
encouraging at all. Very, very, very sad. That many people don't even know.
Yeah,
what
and the
it
few
is.
that know just think is actually you have to be an organization to make such a
Organization to make.
request.
They don't know
Exactly.
that individuals
You are free to
in
make that
Nigeria. Once you're a Nigerian, you have a right to
To
use the Freedom of Information. So we need to, seek for knowledge, ask for the relevant. We should ask the relevant questions and be guided, so that we can go about carrying out our duties and also participating in government, because democracy is not just about government. You as the citizen, if you don't push, government will practically do nothing for you. Well, basically that's how the discussion has been this morning. What would be your final words this morning, Samuel? Or let's just take this last call. We just have someone here. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Brian from Dubai.
Ibrahim, welcome.
This is a good morning, my guest.
Good morning, Ibrahim.
This is a public-private partnership, right?
Development Center, yeah.
Yeah. The one problem is that most we Nigerians don't know how to go about it. I want you people to realize, enlighten the public how to go about this issue, how to follow up this issue. The few that knew about it, those in power will try to frustrate them. For instance, look at what is happening in Kogi State. The governor there, look at most of them. They are not. They think themselves to be God. The governor, look at the governor in most of the local government. He employed, he fixed most of these caretakers from sea. Those that are closer to him. So there's no way you can go to them and get information. So I want you, please, to beg you, you should enlighten Nigeria how to go about it. But those who don't even know how to go about it, they enlighten us. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Maybe you might just want to run quickly through that and then we'll just run.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Our PPDC, our primary responsibility is to educate and encourage citizen participation in governance
Yes.
in a way that promotes transparency and accountability. And we've been doing that advocacy for over the years now. So if you want us to educate you further, you can invite us to your school, your ministry, department or agency or wherever. We'll provide the information free of charge. So as long as PPDC is concerned, we'll continue the advocacy. So it's not limited to tribe, race, gender or whatever. Just call on us, we'll guide you as much as we can.
So once again, maybe you might want to throw your address, your phone numbers, your email, all the contacts so that people will know how to get across to you, because I'm sure that's going to be a good avenue by which people can reach you and get more educated.
No, okay. So if you want to reach us, you can reach us on phone number, that is 0706 661 8896. That is 0706 661 8896.
Okay. Thank you, Samuel Ofia, Program and Stroke Legal Officer at the Public-Private Development Center, and Kachichuku, Program Officer at the PPDC. Thank you so much for all that you're doing, and we know the work continues, right?
Yes,
Thank you so much.
Alright.
Thanks for having us.
Well, that's how it's been on Budeshi. Like I said, please join in on the conversation on the Twitter handle at PPMonitorNG using the hashtag #OpenItToFixIt. You would definitely not regret doing that. And we also want to let you know that the PPDC is at the social media week discussing improving public service delivery in rural communities using technology. And you can follow that discussion too using the hashtag SMWBudeshi. That's one word, SMWBudeshi, to keep up with the trends of their activities there. Okay, so